Hi, my name is June, or more commonly known as Nostalgia Memoir on Instagram. Today I will be reviewing this XG100 helmet by NEXX. So NEXX, or spelled NEXX, is a company out of Portugal. They make enduro and racing helmets, and out of nowhere they decided to come out with this classic retro helmet for 2016. The helmet was built in collaboration with the Maria motorcycle company. They're out of Portugal as well, and they're kind of like the Deus equivalent of Europe. They make surfboards, clothes, apparels, and also they customize helmets. They customize motorcycles, and they have this kind of playful graphic design theme, and this is kind of where this helmet is coming from. So as we can see, this is the XG100 helmet. There are different graphic designs that you can get. There are solid colors as well, coming matte black, white as well, and they have different graphics, but this is the Muddy Hog design. Just as a side-by-side comparison, up until this year, until NEXX came out with this helmet, pretty much the Bell Bullet, as you see right here, was the only premium retro modern helmet that was available, and I love this helmet. This is kind of my primary helmet. It's been one for the last year. I have the bubble shield, I have the flat shield, but I took it off recently to kind of use the goggles. The Bullet is a little outdated now, I guess. They come out with different graphics, but kind of the helmet's been around for a few years now. Since then, since Ruby kind of has gone out of business, but then Ruby was like an ultra premium brand, and so they were going for like $1,000 per helmet. The Bullet ranges around at about $400, and same with the XG100. They range from about $350 to $400 price range. The XG also comes with the X10 as well, and so everything is part of a X Garage collection. So there's XG100, which is a full face helmet, and this looks exactly like this, minus the different graphics. And there's also the 3/4 helmet called XG10, which also has a similar graphics, but it's a 3/4 helmet. So before I go into the in-depth analysis of this helmet, let me talk about the high-level review, a summary of the pros and cons about this helmet. So first, positive thing about this helmet is that it is a high-quality, modern retro helmet and has beautiful graphic designs. It almost looks like a custom made graphics. Great thing about this is that there's not really much other competition besides the Bell Bullet around. So at this price range, at this quality level, this is kind of the only other option besides the Bell Bullet, and it's brand new design, and so not that many people have it around. Second, it allows different looks with add-on accessories, and so it comes with, when you buy the helmet, it comes with this visor, or the peak. It's a clip-on peak, and it also comes with this shield, a tinted shield, which I'll go over in a little bit more depth later. Third is that it's lightweight. It weighs at 2 pounds 14 ounce, or at about 1,200 grams. And the last pro about this helmet is that it was surprisingly quiet at even a high speed. I was expecting some wind noise to seep through under the visor. Not under the shield, but it didn't. It was actually relatively muted when I was going up on highways and whatnot. Now to the con side, the negatives about the helmet. One, it's not the cheapest helmet at $350 to $400. You're looking at a premium helmet, and there's a lot of other alternatives such as Shoei RF1200 or RIs, just for $400 you can get a lot of good DOT Snell helmets, but they're not retro. So the price you're paying for is kind of the retro graphic design, kind of the graphics that it comes with it, and just the aesthetics of it. And it's definitely not cheap. Two, limited face accessibility. Because it's a clip-on shield, which I'll go over in a little bit, it's hard to access your face. It's a little bit of a problem for me because I wear glasses. Trying to put my glasses on and off when taking the helmet on and off, it's a bit of a problem. Last thing, shield. I noticed yesterday that I rode without the peak on, or the visor on, and the shield shifted a little bit in high wind, going at about 70 miles an hour or 110 kilometers an hour. It shifted and kind of lifted. It kind of surprised me, and And that happened when I was turning my head left and right to look to change lanes. So now let me kind of go through the details about this helmet. I'm starting with the design and graphics. I love the detail. It gives that retro look straight out of the box. And it's got this grill ventilation right in the chin area, which is way cool. I don't know if you can see it. Unfortunately, you can't really close or open from inside, and so it's always got to be open. And so that's one detail that I love. The visor, the shield that it comes with, and it's a clip-on shield, and so it's got a button here that you take it on and off. It's great. And the peak that it comes with, for the Muddy Hog, it comes with a red. There are different colors that you can actually purchase. Somehow in the US it's not available yet. I wasn't able to find it online. For the Muddy Hog especially, it has a lot of these like playful Maria Riding Company logos all over the place. Maria Motorcycle, so all of these here. But I mean, I don't think it's tacky. Some people would call it tacky, but for me, I think it's beautiful. It's a playful graphics. It's very custom. It gives you kind of the custom feel to it. And so it has this pinstripe over the top that's kind of almost looks like it was hand painted. And so it's overall a beautiful helmet. This is not just a pre-looking helmet. NEXX is actually a legitimate dual sport and racing helmet maker, and so they know what they're doing. So this is not just like a random helmet maker or random company that decided to make helmets without any foundation of helmet making. The helmets present a very light outer shell made with their X matrix technology, which is a process that combines, I don't know what this is, but multi-axial fiberglass, 3D organic fibers. So it's made with fiberglass. It's 2 pounds and 14 ounces, or 1,200 grams. That's compared to 3 pounds 5 ounces for the Bell Bullet. And so it is noticeably lighter compared to the Bell Bullet. All the interiors are removable. It's Velcroed, and so it's removable, it's washable. It's coming off right now. I won't take it off right now, but you can figure that out yourself. And so it's leather on the neck cover right here. It's got a white leather outline right here on the surface and the neck part, which makes it really pretty. It kind of corresponds with this paint job around the grill it has. And also, it's got the leather white outline right here in the cutout of the helmet. So that's the construction side of the helmet. Next is the ability to convert to different type of helmet or different looks. And what I mean by that is the helmet comes with two things, add-ons, and this is included in your purchase. One is the peak or the visor, and second is a shield. And they're both removable. You can also buy OEM different color peak or visors, and also different tinted shield. I haven't been able to find it online in the US yet, and so hopefully they'll bring it in pretty soon. Note that this helmet just started shipping just within the last month and a half, I think, in February. And so it's very new. I doubt you'll see that many people wearing this. And so because it comes with these two add-ons, you can actually convert it into multiple different type of style look. So because of the add-ons, you can make this helmet look, you can have many different look to this helmet. And I kind of like to categorize into 3 different looks. One is kind of the retro enduro helmet, which is with both the shield and the visor on with, so it kind of looks like an enduro helmet because of this vent right here, and with the sleek looking visor or the peak and the shield. And so this is one way look. And second, another way you can look at it is if you were to take off this peak right here, it suddenly turns into this racing kind of feel helmet. It's still got that retro look, but it just looks like a racing helmet without the peak and the visor. So that's cool. A third kind of the look that you can get with this is if you just remove everything, it just looks like a dirt bike helmet. Or even if you just put this peak back on or visor back on, it just looks like a cool little vintage dirt bike helmet. And so you can combine different looks. You can leave the visor off, you can leave the visor on, or you can put the shield on. And if you really wanted it, once it becomes available, you can kind of change the different type of tinted shield or different color visor. And so there's multiple ways you can change up with just a single helmet. Just so with one helmet, you're getting a lot of different style that you can play around with. Now, one kind of downside of this was that I was hoping that this would be compatible with my goggles. So here I have the 100% Barstow goggle, and unfortunately, it's not. The slit right here is not big enough to fit this all the way. And so when you put the goggle on, it essentially just sits on the slit right here, or the opening, but it doesn't go in all the way. So essentially it will just rest on it, but it doesn't go all the way in. So next thing is the fitment. I wear a size medium for all my other helmets, and it's a snug medium, and so I could probably go large, but it's better to wear a snug helmet. And my head is very round, and so I think this is perfect for round to medium oval head. Last thing, let me go over kind of the practicality or rideability of this helmet. So practicality, this is a retro helmet, and whenever you buy a retro helmet, you're always compromising kind of the practicality of it. One, kind of the first thing that you'll notice is because it's a clip-on shield and not like a shield with a hinge. It's a little bit annoying because you have to unclip it, well, at least for me, every time I have to wear the helmet or take off the helmet because I wear glasses. Or when you're riding and you got an itch on your face or on your nose or whatnot, you can't really just unclip this while riding and then scratch your nose. Whereas if it was a hinge, you could just kind of slide your shield up. Same thing with ventilation. Not ventilation, but when it's hot, you can't just open your shield up and let the air flow in. You literally just have to unclip the whole visor or the shield. But one way you can do is, I noticed that if you don't have the visor or the peak on, you can actually just lift it up like this to a certain extent, and then usually like this. I don't know how this will do against the wind. I'm a little worried that this will just snap off in the wind, so I wouldn't maybe go too fast with it. But you can, if you wanted to, you can just pull it up and then slide it slightly up, and it's not the easiest thing to do because it's just rubber friction. It's not meant to be like that, but you can ride like this if you wanted to. One thing I was surprisingly happy about was the wind noise. I am so dissatisfied with the Bell Bullet's whistling noise that I don't even know where it comes from. I think it comes from like the top end of the visor or the shield, but there's a really high-pitched wind noise, and just even if there isn't, there's other wind noise that goes through it that's really loud. And so with the Bell Bullet, it's very unpleasant to ride without a earplug, without a set of earplugs, or go long distance anywhere with it in highway speed. But this, I was very surprised of how quiet it was. I think the padding inside does a really good job of muting the sound by pressing right against your ear. And so I think this felt like just a kind of like a normal street helmet that I have, like a DOT Snell street helmet. I talked about the goggles already, so it doesn't really fit with the goggle, and so that's kind of a downside. If you like to ride with goggles, you're not going to be able to do that with this. So let's talk about ventilation. The only ventilation hole it has is the chin hole right here, and you can't close it or open it. You can't close it, it's always open, and so you'll get ventilation through here. But I've also noticed that you get a consistent kind of breeze through the top part of the shield right into your forehead. And so it's not like an annoying kind of like wind, high pressure wind that you'll dry up your eyes or get annoying after a while. But it was very consistent. It wasn't hard. It was just like a nice soft breeze, especially when you're going about above 50 miles an hour, or 50, 60 miles an hour. And so it felt good. So I think in the summer, it'll be nice to have that. In the winter, maybe not so much. Might keep you a little too cold. I also talked about this earlier, but one thing I noticed yesterday was that without the peak somehow, when you're on the highway, the goggle shifts up or lifts up and shifts when you're turning your head. And so when I was changing lanes, I looked right, it suddenly just lifted up and then went up like this. A little surprising, especially when you're going that high speed and you don't really expect sudden shift in your visor. This happened while I was going about 70 miles an hour, which is about 110 kilometers an hour. And so in just normal street riding, it never happened. It doesn't happen. Also, I'm pretty sure it did not happen when I was wearing the visor or the peak. when I was on the highway the other day, and so maybe it's just without the peak that happens, due to some kind of wind resistance. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the downside. In conclusion, I think a lot of the questions I get from my followers is it worth it? Well, I don't know. How much money are you willing to spend? So I think the value of anything is very subjective, especially when it costs $350 to $400. It's not cheap, and so when you're paying that much for something, you want to get good value out of it. And so is the value there? For me, I think it is. I obviously didn't pay for this, and if I had to pay for it, I would definitely pay for it. Unfortunately, they didn't bring in some of the other graphics that's available, but overall, yeah, this is a NEXX XG100 helmet, and this is the Muddy Hog graphic design. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Go to www.sideroist.com. Subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.